Hi, this is Gene from Listening and Radio, KB9001MWDX, KB9001SWL, and my ham radio call sign, WN9ZWC. Good evening. I just want to let everybody know that we're about 2 days away from the end of the shortwave and medium wave contest. And I want to go over some of my logs. I logged about 111 stations. I don't know if I'll pick up a couple new ones along the way in the next 48 hours. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But I've caught quite a bit, and especially for conditions being bad around Iowa for the last couple months due to weather. I lost part of my antenna system back during the fall due to storms, and going into winter, I had to take everything down, so I lost most of it. I've kind of regained some ground there and added on to it. Just over the last couple of days, we finally broke out of some sub-zero weather, so I had a little bit of time to get an additional wire thrown up to add to what I already had, and I probably have about 50 or 60 feet of antenna now that I'm tuning. And I used a number of different radios to accomplish this contest. I used my Ritecus TR629, my XH Data D109. I even used my ICOM 718 ham radio to verify things and to pick up different stations, and because the ICOM 718 is a pretty superior receiver compared to some of the smaller ones I have, so I utilize that as well. I also utilize my Eton Elite Executive, and like I said, at the time I had about 30 feet of wire on the medium wave DX side. I used my Tech Sun loop where it was applicable, which is most of the time due to, again, some pretty bad conditions. But here's kind of what I caught along the way. And out of the 111, I'll just try to highlight a few things. Caught a lot of stations around the U.S. on AM radio. A lot in Iowa, that's for sure. I caught a lot of local stations from Ames to Des Moines, Waterloo, Newton, Boone, Iowa, Cedar Rapids, Fort Dodge. Of course, I caught Nashville, Tennessee, Atlanta, Georgia, WWCR out of Nashville, Tennessee, which is shortwave, KWMT, Fort Dodge, WMT, Cedar Rapids, KCOB, Newton, Iowa, KXEL, Waterloo, just to name a few. I hear Dallas, Fort Worth here, WBAP. Dallas, Fort Worth area, Texas. Of course, I did some logging on the utility stations for WWV out of Fort Collins, Colorado. Here's a distant one, China Radio International out of Bamako, Mali. That was a French language transmission. NHA World Japan Radio out of Irabaki, Koga, Yamada. Radio de Amazonia out of Brazil. Radio Exterior de España in Noble Jas, Spain. I actually caught a local Vietnamese language radio out of Bel Air, Texas, which was KGOW Viet Radio out of Bel Air, which is really interesting. Of course, WBBM in Chicago, which is a pretty big transmitter, heard all over the Midwest. WCCO in Minneapolis, Wisconsin. I'm just kind of rushing through some of this. And Voice of America out of Greenville, North Carolina. KBC via WRMI out of Okeechobee, Florida. WHO Radio, of course, my neighbor. KPSZ out of Des Moines, Iowa. Vatican Radio out of Santa Maria Galleria. Radio France International out of Isidone, France. Radio FEDA, which is World Christian Radio, Mahajanga, Madagascar. And KAAY out of Little Rock, Arkansas, which is a station I hear every once in a while. They may be a low power station. I'm not exactly sure, but they pop in here every once in a while, and I catch them on the AM radio band. KMOX out of St. Louis, Missouri, which is a big station. I caught a transmission via, that's probably WRMI, WRMI, Radio Africa, WTTW in Lebanon, Tennessee, and of course the WBCQ, The Planet, one of my favorite shortwave radio stations. A lot of good content there. WGN out of Chicago. WTAM Cleveland, which is a big burner out of the Cleveland area and heard all over the Midwest. Again, Vatican Radio, that was out of Tinian. KHMO out of Hannibal, Missouri. That was a good catch, I think. We don't hear them around here very often, but they're definitely in the neighborhood. Voice of America out of Greenville, North Carolina. Again, China Radio International. And CHAK CBC out of Toronto, Canada. KOA out of Denver, Colorado, another big station. WLW, Cincinnati, Ohio, another big watch station heard all over the Midwest. WTMG out of Milwaukee, CFRX out of Toronto, Canada, Radio Taiwan, which was a radio relay probably out of Florida. I believe that was WRMI, WHAS out of Louisville, Kentucky, and many more. I also caught the Radio Ukraine relay WRMI out of Okeechobee, Florida, and many more. It looks like I had some duplicates on KCMO there, and the list goes on and on. This is a Tibet radio out of China, coming out of Tibet. It was PBS Xizang, BBC out of the Ascension Islands, Radio Romania, EWTN out of Van Diver, Alabama, and of course Radio Havana, Cuba. We're starting to hear them again. They were not around for a while. I don't know if they had a transmitter problem, but they are back on the radio. I've actually heard them on 6,000 kilohertz many times over the last couple of weeks. And this is one station that I rarely hear, but I finally ended up catching them on 6185 kilohertz. It's XRPPM Education out of Mexico City. And I caught a good call sign on that one. It was a good ID. CHU Canada out of Ottawa, which is their atomic clock out of Canada. CJBC out of Toronto. That's another one. 860 AM. And many more. So that's just a few. I just covered them as fast as I could. Again, we've got just a couple days left here, but that's what I've caught on my logs and when I logged in. And so it's been a good time, and I've enjoyed doing that. There is a single sideband contest coming up in the near future too, so watch out for that. I'll give you some more information as time goes on. Okay, thanks. Have a good night.